What's up, Essence Fest? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm back. I'm back at the Suede Men's Experience. My name is Oakley Jones. I'm the senior entertainment editor for Essence Magazine. I want to welcome y'all to this amazing conversation that we're about to have right now. So, if you love art, then you're gonna love this next talk. I want to bring to the stage two amazing artists, entrepreneurs, and natives of New Orleans, Mr. Jaron, Jerick Beasley, and Terrence Osborne. Y'all give it up for Jerick and Terrence. All right, y'all. So I'm glad to have y'all here. You know, y'all are very accomplished too. Um, I wanted to ask you for the first question. What made you fall in love with art, Terrence? Like, what was your first experience or your introduction into art and creativity?
So, first of all, thanks for everybody being here. I appreciate that. My my first experience with art was watching my mom work because my mom did art as a hobby, and she would put all of her artwork on the back of her wall in her where her in her bedroom, the above her baseboard, and at certain part of the day, the sun would come into the room and hit the wall and make her artwork illuminate. And I mean, it must have been about like that golden hour, right? Like somewhere around like 4 or 5, where the shadows are long, sun's coming in, and I loved it. It just it made me want to do that because she worked with pastel. Her artwork was real subtle, but when the light hit it on the wall, boom! It just the colors exploded. So that was my first experience.
Hey, Jerick, how about you, brother?
Man, well, my father was an artist, so I kind of subconsciously picked up on the things he left, and so not knowing growing up, right? I mean, I was always doodling and sketching on different things growing up, not knowing that art. I thought that was the ability for everyone, right? So I learned and got old and be like, no, I'm special and I'm different. But that was one of the first things that kind of got me into looking at my father sketching, drawing, and he was into fabrics and clothes as well. So that was one of the things that kind of grabbed my attention and I picked up.
Amazing, amazing. So, Terrence, I know your artwork has kind of became synonymous with New Orleans, man. What is it about this city that continues to inspire you every time you pick up a paintbrush?
Yeah, so I think the thing that inspires me the most in the city is that, you know, as artists, really everybody does this thing that they may not be aware of, that artists do intentionally. I was just telling Jay that what we do is we collect as artists. You know, like the young lady with the red glasses here. I like how she's sitting. I like her. I like how her glasses are on her face.
Beautiful.
There may be in nature there may be a leaf that falls and brushes across the grass, and you like how it looks slow motion, right? So artists are always looking at that. Everybody else looks at it too. It's just that artists are doing it intentionally. So we collect and we collect, and the piece is a physical representation of all that we've collected. So we've made it physical until we get more inspiration and we move to the next one. So that's a pattern. Now in New Orleans, there's a lot of stuff to be inspired by, right? Our food is colorful. Our the clothing is colorful. Our music, just everything. So if you're an artist and you live in New Orleans, there's not a time where you're uninspired if you're looking.
Now, I'm really proud of you too, man. I'm really
Thank you.
proud of your journey in the sense that you were a self-taught artist too, man.
Yes.
Looking back, how did being self-taught kind of shape the artist that you are today and your experiences?
um, Being self-taught, it kind of taught me how to break rules in art. Meaning, like, I don't have to be too careful, right? Just do what I please. And it made me become a free artist, to where, like, and don't get it twisted, because my mistakes that I made, it became a lesson, and I learned a lot for the physical side of painting and the business side by being self-taught. I made the mistakes first, but now I would never make those same mistakes again. But I mean, it just basically taught me to be a free artist And this art don't have no rules to it, man. Just do what you please. And it's not for everybody. Everybody's not gonna like your art. I had to kind of get to that too. They're gonna have that certain group of people that will change your life if they do like it. So that's all I focus on.
So Terrence, this is my first time meeting you in person, but I'm very familiar with your work, man, especially your Jazz Fest posters. That is such an amazing accomplishment, man. Can you talk to me about what did that mean to you being able to highlight the city in that way?
So the Jazz Fest posters, that when I first started working, when I first started selling my work, I sold locally. The Jazz Fest poster, getting that is a huge honor because if you do it, you have the world stage. The Jazz Fest poster is an international poster. So I didn't realize at the time how big the Jazz Fest poster was until I got it, right? So, and that's a different market. You know, it's almost like going viral for something that you didn't expect. So now I feel lucky because if you get the Jazz Fest poster, and they usually, if you do well, they'll call you again. And I've done 6 of them so far. So I feel so lucky to be.
That's amazing. Y'all got to get, yes.
Big
that's
deal.
amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So Jaron, I'm looking at your shirt, brother. You know, your Jay-Z Tree of Life painting. You know, Jay-Z has a lot of visibility, especially nowadays, man. What was going through your mind when you created that piece, and how are you feeling now of the success of what that piece has done, man?
I mean, a lot went through my mind when I did that piece, man. When we came up with that idea for that piece, man, when I'm painting, I could feel, it's a certain feeling each piece gives me, right? And as I was painting, as I was finishing up, I'm like, this is gonna be a big deal. And every time I had someone come to my studio while I was working on it, they were like, man, Jay-Z's gonna reach out and get that painting. And I'm like, man, come on, come on, people paint Jay-Z all the time. Why would he want this painting? But sure enough, like when it hit the internet, it went viral, man, and I realized that it wasn't just about the actual painting; it was about the story it told, which makes the painting what it is, right? So, and I'm forever grateful for that moment. You know, that's a big deal, and that's gonna live forever, man. Especially going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at that
Jay,
time.
So just so that everybody understands what the painting is, and we see it right here, but it's pixelated on purpose. But what is it? What is it? Give people a visual of what.
Yes, well, I did a Jay-Z painting. It's called The Tree of Life. It's where Jay-Z, when he was growing out his dreads, I turned the branches, I turned his hair into branches with leaves in it. And it's called The Tree of Life because of the legacy where he was and the legacy where he's going. He said that represents him. So it's a Jay-Z painting, Tree of Life, yellow background, nice colors. It's a beautiful piece, and you could just Google Jay-Z Tree of Life, and you could kind of find it. And I did this shirt. It's a pixelated version of it because I did an actual painting. I repainted it, but I painted pixelated. This is a 864 squares. I said I wasn't never going to repeat that piece, so this is the actual piece I did, the pixelated version.
That's a word.
That's on the shirt.
That's a word.
Yeah, thank you.
We got 2 superstars up here, y'all. You know.
Thank you.
Terrence, a lot of people don't think of art as an investment sometimes, too. So I wanted to talk about the logistical aspect of art, man. When should someone consider getting a piece professionally appraised?
Yeah, I think to get a piece appraised, I think you should. Well, first of all, whenever you purchase that piece of work, it's going to go for whatever you purchased it for. So you want to wait a little bit. I think about 10 years or so is a good time to get it appraised. Why? Well, because the artist has to gain some momentum, because the idea is that you're making an investment to a degree. So you want to see what your investment is worth after 10 years. 5 years, you know, and if an artist is going to be successful and they're working on their career, usually it doesn't happen in 5 years. More like 10 years, you can is a good number.
And what do you think is the biggest mistake that you see collectors doing when they first try to like a new collector? What's the biggest mistake they make, man?
All right, so that's a good one. It's a big one, really. People who so the whole point is to buy what you like, right? There's nothing more important. If you love it, then you buy it. One of the mistakes that people make is not getting it when they love it, when they see it. Because oftentimes people come to me and say, yeah, Terrence, I saw your work about 15 years ago, and if I had gotten that piece back then, right? And what they say is at that time, it was a little bit out of my budget. Well, when they see me now, they say it's still a little bit out of my budget. So like it's an investment. You get it. It's always going to be a little bit out of your budget, especially if you like the artist and the artist is successful. So the biggest mistake is not getting it at the time.
So Jay, I know your work, it features bandages as symbols of healing, brother.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how Hurricane Katrina influenced your artistic voice, man?
Well, Hurricane Katrina was a pivotal point as far as my art, where it took a little twist to it because of things that happened, and I started implementing bandages and band-aids in it just to show the pain and the healing process of that time I was in. And when I add elements of like symbolism in my art, it sticks, right? It never leaves, and I just keep it going. And everyone is healing from something, so I kind of like kept it going and used that as one of my symbols. But when I use those symbols, I always like to incorporate vibrant, nice colors to kind of balance out everything when I paint, to give the positivity side of it. So that's what it kind of altered to me, what I'm still practicing now as I paint.
One thing that's cool about you too, man, is you have a unique style. When I see it, I know that you did it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, like, when did you realize that you found your style? Because I know sometimes it takes artists a lifetime to do that. You know, when did you find your style, brother?
I found my style. I found my style kind of later on. Like you said, you practice and you dibble and dabble on different things that you feel that you like. But I went off of what the people thought and what the people said. A little bit of more of what I've done too, but I kind of saw what more people grasp too when it come to me, and that's when I found it and I stuck with it, and that's what I try to continue on going. But it came a little later than early for me. Yeah.
Terrence, you also own a gallery in New Orleans too, brother. I wanted to ask you, you know, brick and mortar businesses are getting more and more challenging nowadays, man. What are some of the challenges that you face owning the gallery, and what fulfills you the most about owning the gallery, man?
So I think the biggest thing is maintaining the gallery. It's, you know, you have to be willing to stay there during the dry seasons. The summer, for artists, summer is always slower, right? Now, fortunately, the art gallery is on Magazine Street, and you know we're leasing over there. But my wife and I, who's sitting in the crowd here, and then my daughter is sitting right next to her, my wife is a corporate mindfulness coach, and she does meditation. We purchased a building, and it's about 6 times bigger than the one that we have now, and we're merging our businesses. She's always been my business partner, so now the gallery is going to be an art gallery and meditative space. So it'll be a destination spot, and so I think that the idea of maintaining a gallery is something that every artist should do. Now there are things that people are doing now where they don't have to have a gallery. I like the idea of walking into a space and seeing my artwork in a contemporary, modern, or a upscale place, because you know I oftentimes will visit art galleries or even museums, and I'm looking at the artwork on the walls, and I'm like, well, why can't I have this? This is, you know, it's like always making sure that your artwork is given the credibility that it deserves. So you have to put it in a space, because if you don't believe it first and put it in a space that of value, then people aren't going to believe. So oftentimes, when I used to be a teacher, I told my students, you know, whatever price you put on your work is what people are going to believe. Now you have to do the work, but if I put $500 on a painting and somebody walked in there who had never seen my work, they would believe that it was a $500 painting. If I put $10,000 on that work, they're going to believe that as well. But I also have to do the work and put it in a prestigious looking place. So you know, that to me, that is always a goal, to step my work up and make sure that when people walk in, they're like, oh yeah, I can see why it's that, you know.
So you said something that really intriguing to me, and something that I didn't know. You said that there's a dry season. Why is, I guess, art seasonal? Like, why is the summertime a slow point for you? Like, what is?
Yeah, I mean, Jay, maybe we talk about that too, but I do think that during the summertime, kids are out of school. People who invest into art, they're making other investments at that time. I think art is usually purchased when people feel excited and they also want to make an investment. For some reason, during the summertime, it's not the time.
You experienced that too?
Yeah, for sure. Especially being in New Orleans, man. Like, I mean, a lot of people come in town for art, right? The slowest time in New Orleans is the summertime a lot. So it definitely plays a part. And at the end of the year, a lot of people may have extra money left over. They want to tax season come. They want to spend more money. So that's when the Decembers, the galas, and all that come around. That's when people tend to do good because they have to get rid of a lot of money just to show. So yeah, I agree exactly with everything he said.
Summer vacations and all of that. They spend it on that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is in art. This is I would say is a first world. Like you got this one. It's not one of the first things you want to buy when you're going through time. Exactly. It's some extra. So you have to be mindful of that too.
So I have a lot of artist friends, artist acquaintances too, and their biggest challenge is learning how to market themselves. They may be good at what they do, but getting their art out there is something that they kind of find difficult, man. But you've secured a lot of like brand partnerships, brand deals, and all that, man. I want to talk about the NFL one in particular. How did you come to secure that deal with the NFL, and what advice would you give to an artist that has difficulty marketing their work, man?
Well, one, it's when they come out to you for your art, right? They come in to you as the person. So personally, before they come to you, they doing their research on that type. They doing their research. So you have to be a good person. Of course, still have the work to back it. But how the NFL situation came about, there was in town maybe like 8 months before Super Bowl, scouting spots to where they was gonna use for having different pop-ups, the actual NFL themselves. So they went to a spot. They saw some of my art in there, and one of the executives reached out to the owner where my art was at and was talking about, I like this guy. Who is this guy? Can you share his information? And then I got the email. I was in an email thread, and they were like, man, he reached out before the email came. Man, the NFL wants your information. Can I give it to him? I'm like, man, you don't even have to ask me that. You give him my address. So they reached out. We set up everything, and they asked me. They told me what they was gonna do and what they was trying to do, and it fit with what I was doing at the time. So I went with it.
Congratulations again on that too, man. You got some nice work with that.
Thank you.
Terrence, I wanted to ask you about balancing business and creativity. Like, you being a gallery owner, you have to make money, but as an artist, I know that you guys live and thrive off inspiration, man. How do you balance, the creative aspect of creating the work that you want, but also making sure that your business thrives, man?
So luckily, I have a business partner who takes care of that. So I would recommend that if you're an artist, you wanna be with someone, have a partner who is business minded.
True.
I actually learned all my business sense from my wife initially.
Black love.
Yeah. So
real.
She still does it, not as heavy as she did. So I moved up and did do a little bit more. But one of the things I do want to mention, sort of pick it back off of what you said, Jay, is that people are smart. They know what authenticity is, and so whatever artwork you do, you want to make it as true as possible. So I tend to put my wife and my daughter, whenever I'm painting a woman or lady, I take a picture of them and then use them as reference. So they're always in my work. My sons are in my work as well. So for me, being authentic about what I'm producing, I'm a family man who lives in New Orleans. That comes out in my work. It's not just about expressing the culture. It's about what's true to me, because that's all people want anyway. They want to see what it is that your life is, so that they can find themselves in it, and that's the point. We're looking for ourselves.
Kind of want to add to that too, Jay. Like, I know art is subjective, and it's the interpretation of each person's experience. They may view a work of art differently, but in your perfect world, when someone sees your art, what would you like them to think, man, or take away from your art, brother?
There's multiple things. See, my artwork is basically like a visual journal of where I've been and where I'm going, and which most people could agree with. But I want them to take away like that I'm free at what I'm doing, and I'm being true to myself, and I'm not gonna budge for anything. I wanna tell a story that everybody could feel. So I like to do a lot of storytelling with my portrait scenic pieces. So and a lot of people could feel my stories because 9 times out of 10 we come from the same area and the same type of culture. So just being true, man. What you see is what you're gonna get from me, for the most part. And I probably would never change that.
Well, thank y'all gentlemen for an amazing conversation. I know it's loud in the background, but y'all need to scream, yell, clap for Mr. Terrence Osborne and Jerick Beasley.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.